The sky above the park was a brilliant, endless blue, and in that sky, Kippy the kite was having the best day of his life. He was a wonderful kite, shaped like a happy little diamond, with a tail that swished and swirled like a ribbon dancer. His paper was a cheerful mix of colors, but the best part of him was the string. That string was his special connection, his tether to his very best friend in the whole world, a little boy named Leo. Together they would run and laugh, and Kippy would go soaring, soaring, soaring on the breezy air, high above the vast green world below. Leo's laughter was like music, and Kippy could feel every giggle and every happy shout travel right up the string and into his very being. They were a perfect team. But then something unexpected happened. A particularly playful and powerful gust of wind, a real cheeky breeze, whipped through the park. It tugged at Kippy, wanting him to dance even higher. It pulled, and with a sudden, tiny snap, the wonderful feeling of connection was gone. Kippy felt a jolt, and then a strange, floaty emptiness. He was untethered. The music of Leo's laughter was gone, replaced by the lonely whistle of the wind. He was still soaring, but now it was a scary kind of soaring. He wasn't dancing with Leo anymore, he was drifting, all alone. The park, which had always seemed so fun and exciting from the safety of his string, now looked incredibly vast and confusing. A tiny shiver ran down his frame where his string used to be. Where was Leo? The breeze carried him further and further away from the wide open field where they had been playing. Kippy's paper heart felt heavy with a new feeling. It was a feeling of being lost. He saw trees below, a shimmering lake, twisting paths that looked like little brown snakes, but no Leo. The world was so big, and he was just one small kite. Oh, how he wished for that string, for the gentle, guiding pull of his best friend. But then, a memory floated into his mind, as soft and gentle as a dandelion seed. It was the sound of Leo's voice from just that morning. "Look, Kippy," Leo had said, pointing as they walked to their favorite flying spot. "See the bright red slide? It's the color of my favorite juicy strawberry. And over there, the big yellow sandbox, shiny like a lemon. And don't forget the big blue blanket by the lake where we have our picnics. They're like our special landmarks, colorful landmarks. Red like a strawberry, yellow like a lemon, blue like the picnic blanket. Maybe, just maybe, if Kippy could be brave and look for those colors, they could guide him. They could be his map back to Leo." It was a small idea, but it made Kippy feel a little less floaty and a little more focused. He decided right then and there, high up in the breezy sky, that he would be brave. He would not just drift. He would fly with purpose. He would look for the colors. He let the wind turn him gently, scanning the vast park below. There were so many greens and browns, but he needed to find a happy, exciting red. A red that wasn't scary, but a red that meant fun and sliding and laughter. He looked and looked, his eyes scanning the world below. But what could that bright spot be, shining through the leaves? Was it the red he was searching for? He gathered his courage and let a soft current of air push him a little lower, a little closer to the patch of trees. And there it was, not hidden by the trees at all, but right next to them. The most magnificent curly slide he had ever seen. And it was painted the most perfect, most wonderful shade of red. It was the red of a juicy, ripe strawberry, just like Leo had said. A wave of hope washed over Kippy. This was the first landmark. He was on the right path. He remembered that the playground was near the entrance of the park. So if he was near the red slide, he was getting closer to where he started. Feeling a new burst of energy, Kippy let the breeze lift him again. He knew the next color to find was a sunny, cheerful yellow. He soared past the red slide, his swishy tail waving a little thank you to it. Now, where could that yellow be? He looked around the playground. He saw a swing set, but it was silver. He saw a bridge, but it was green. Where was the yellow that shone like a lemon? He flew a little further, his paper crinkling with nervousness. What if he couldn't find it? What if he was wrong? The park was so vast. But then, he caught a glimpse of something bright and warm-looking. It was a huge sandy area, and right in the middle of it was a giant yellow canopy casting a sunny shadow over the sandbox below. The yellow was so bright and happy, it looked like a piece of the sun had fallen down to earth to play. Yellow like a lemon. That was it! The second landmark. Kippy was so excited he did a little loop-de-loop in the air. He was being so brave, and it was working. He was following the colorful map. He knew that from the yellow sandbox, the lake wasn't far away, and by the lake was where they always laid out the big blue picnic blanket. That was the final color. That was where he really, really hoped Leo would be. He turned towards where he thought the lake should be. But a problem was brewing. The cheeky breeze that had snapped his string was getting tired of playing nicely. It was changing into a stronger, more blustery wind. It started to push Kippy, not gently but roughly, in a different direction. It wanted to take him over the deep, shimmering blue of the lake itself. Kippy felt a flutter of fear. The water looked so deep and so cold. If he fell in, his paper would get soggy and he would never fly again. He would never see Leo again. He had to be brave now, more than ever. He had to fight the pushy wind. He angled his body, using all his strength to steer away from the open water and back towards the shore. It was hard work. The wind pushed and pulled, but Kippy persevered. He thought of Leo's smile, and he pushed back against the gusty wind. He was a brave little kite, and he was on a very important mission. And then he saw it. A splash of beautiful, calm blue on the grassy shore. It wasn't the deep, scary blue of the lake water. This was a softer, friendlier blue, the blue of a cozy blanket, the blue of picnics and sandwiches and happy naps under the sun. It was the blue picnic blanket. He had found the third color. He had followed the map all the way. His excitement was cut short by another strong gust of wind. This one was the strongest yet. It caught Kippy by surprise and sent him tumbling, head over tail, down, down, down from the sky. He wasn't soaring anymore, he was falling. He tumbled through the air, the world a dizzying whirl of green grass and blue sky and blue blanket. Oh no, was this the end of his brave journey? Would he land somewhere far away? But then the most wonderful thing happened. The wind, as if apologizing for being so rough, gave one last, gentle sigh. It set Kippy down, ever so softly, right in the middle of that big, soft blue picnic blanket. He landed with a quiet pfft. For a moment, everything was still. Kippy lay there, a little dizzy, his adventure over. He had been so brave. He had persevered. He had found all the colors. But was he home? And then, a shadow fell over him. A familiar, happy face filled his view. Two gentle hands picked him up. It was Leo! Leo's eyes were wide with amazement and joy. He had been looking everywhere, and his kite had just fallen from the sky and landed right in his favorite spot. Leo didn't say a word, but his smile was the warmest, happiest thing Kippy had ever felt. Leo held him close, and Kippy could feel the happy thump, thump, thump of Leo's heart. He was home. He had used his bravery and his memory of the bright red slide, the sunny yellow sandbox, and the cozy blue blanket to guide himself all the way back to his best friend. Leo found a special, extra strong string in the picnic basket. Very carefully, he tied a new, secure connection to his brave little kite. He gave the string a gentle tug, a tug that said, "We are a team again." And together they looked up at the vast, breezy sky, knowing that soon they would go soaring once more. Perhaps next time they would follow a rainbow. But that is a story for another day. Moral: bravery means feeling scared but choosing to try anyway, and perseverance means not giving up, even when things are difficult.